They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, whether it was cornflakes, canned tuna, or instant oats that you had this morning, if you bought it, then someone was responsible for ensuring that you get what you paid for. And that person is a food technologist. Manja, when you probably are thinking food plus technology, it sounds like an electronic sandwich made with rechargeable bread stuffed with nuts and bolts that you eat wirelessly. Ane, it's not true. It actually is all about the real food that we consume each and every day. Manje, food technologists are highly trained individuals whose job it is to ensure that the food that you buy reaches you in the form that it was meant to. They ensure that the food is prepared safely so that you do not come into any harm from consuming the food. They also make sure that the quality and standards that the food brand claims is the one that you get. Food technologists therefore play a key role from production right through to the packaging and all the way to your table. Now let's pop a can open and extract the informative flavors around this interesting career.
Sonke siyati ukuthi i-technology ishintshe kakhulu indlela lesiphila ngayo, ikakhulukati indlela lesithenga ngayo, lesichumana ngayo, kanye nendlela lesivakasha ngayo. Kodwa uthi bewati nje ukuthi iphindze idlale inzima lenkulu kulesikudlako. Ngaphambi kokuba sicale ukudadisha kwakheka kokudla nebiology kutable science, lokwenda ukuthi kudla kungasheshi konakale. Bese sembele kakhulu kudla lokuphuma etindzaweni lesitejwayele, kungako bokhokho bebadla kudla lokunempilo futhi lokuhlandekile. Kungesiko ke njengakulamalanga lapho khona sithenga kudla losokuvela kuphekiwe, lokukheniwe, lokucanzisiwe noma ke lokuminyisiwe. Besingenato ke indlela tekutfola leti tinhlobonhlobo tekudla phambilini. Kodwa ke kulamalanga kuyatholakala kude tonke tikhathi eminyakeni. Njengoba cishe linyenti lethu nje lisasebenzisa kudla lokuhlandekile onke emalanga, linyenti lokudla lokubhakishiwe silesikuthenga esitolo kungumphumela welucwaningo lokuhlola kwekudla lokwentiwa bososayensi nabonjiniyela bekudla. Bososayensi bekudla basebenta ngetindlela letitsite letimbalo tifaka ekhatsi i-microbiology kanye nebunjiniyela betame kutfola tindlela tekuvula iminyango tsite kude bakhone kutfola tindlela letinsha baphindze bapfufukise kudla lesikuthenga kwesibathengi, bakhulise nelizinga lekugcina kudla kutsi kuchube isikhathi futhi baqinisekise ukuthi lokho kudla kuphephile. Bacwaningi bekudla ke basebenzisa lena ndlela kuqinisekisa ukuthi lo mkhicito wekudla lokubhakishiwe bucondzene nempilo kongeka nekusebenziseka kahle kwekudla. Singakhohlwa ke futhi kuphepha kwekudla kanye nekuqinisekisa ukuthi bathengi batfola kudla lokusezingeni lelisetulu. Lokho kubaluleke kakhulu.
In terms of food technology, you need to be a very creative person, innovative, and because you're going to be caught up in different careers in terms of the food technology field, you can become a food technologist, which I am at the moment. You can also become a product inspector, which you can work for the government. You can also become a packaging technologist, which I think it might be something that you'd be interested in.
Application group technologist. So here, this is where it begins, where actually we convert the marketing brief into the actual product. So we'll prepare samples in this lab where marketing will taste. Obviously, we need to get the product to be as accurate as possible in terms of the flavor, in terms of the inclusions as well. Basically, packaging, as you know, it's a process whereby we swagger a product, we pack. Once the product has been approved and developed, I have to come up with the concept of packing. But sometimes marketing do tell us, what kind of packaging are they looking at, and I also need to ensure that it does work into the factory. Because there's no point for me to come up with a pack and then it's not going to be working in the factory. So in a nutshell, that's what packaging is all about, making sure that we pack, we protect whatever we have and also to the consumer.
And the main reason for sensory evaluation is to make sure that the product quality is maintained throughout the process and what the consumer knows the product to be receives it the same way each and every time they buy the same product. We refer to the product specification. So when you do evaluate the product, you'll follow the product specification, which has the pictures of how the product should look like, and also in words as to how, describing the product as to how it should be and how it should taste, and also the flavors.
Age Lamankawe of the food industry can earn an average salary of between 82,000 rands to a whopping 319,000 rands per annum noma ngonyaka. That amounts to an average of between 6,500 rands and 26,500 rands per month. Manjage, an experienced food technologist, can earn more. With this salary, these food technologists ensure that the many laws that govern the preparation and the sale of food items are adhered to. This is because there is much legislation that exists to govern the food industry, and this is in an attempt to protect the consumer, that is you and I. If you are buying canned pilchards, you need to get canned pilchards and not canned tuna. Manjage, there are quite a few different roles that the food technologist will play, and these roles are dependent on which part of the food industry that they operate in. For example, manufacturing technologists have a more practical role and work on day-to-day issues as well as the long-term projects directly with the production and factory teams. Retail technologists, on the other hand, deal with different manufacturers and work with their manufacturers' technical teams to solve issues and maintain the solutions. Other opportunities in this field include quality control for a food manufacturer, the designing of new food products, being in charge of packaging and designing suitable packaging methods, to name only a few. Manjage, the job opportunities in this field are vast. It sounds really hectic. Ane, let's check out what a day in the life of a food technologist is like.
We have prepared 3 tasks for you to carry out today. It is new product development, and just for you to get a feel in terms of food technology into. In terms of product development, this is where you develop a product from scratch. So it's from concept development up until a product yako iphuma khona a factory, as you see it, a shop. And then the second task is sensory. Sensory simply is just tasting your product and seeing product yako, does it comply to what you want the consumer to have. And then the last task that we have for you is the labeling and artwork. Labeling and artwork is because of packaging is what you present to your consumer. So therefore, you always need to make sure that your packaging is as presentable as possible. And therefore, your task will entail for you to check if your packaging complies to all the regulations and all that is within the food technology field.
The brief actually says that we need to have an ice cream product, which is going to be an extruded product, which we need to have chocolate coating, also with hazelnut pieces. So as you can see, I've got my chocolate in the water bath. The importance here as well is for you to keep the chocolate temperature correct. So this is what I was doing when you were actually coming in. Okay, so you would need to obviously check your temperature. The required temperature is 36 to 38 degrees. So you'll need to use your thermometer to check this. Okay, if it's okay, fine. And then you will need to actually put in the nuts, which you will mix into the chocolate, as I'm doing. Okay. And then you obviously need to mix in the nuts properly with the chocolate and make sure they distribute it properly. Okay. And then after that, we will take your bar, your ice cream bar, and you actually dip it in the chocolate. Okay. As I'm doing. Okay. So you'll see as your ice cream, because your chocolate is warm and your ice cream is cold, so it will dry up. Okay. And then these samples then you will put into the freezer, and then we'll set up a tasting with our marketing team to come in and taste and tell us what they think of the product. Okay.
Okay, firstly, we evaluate according to that. I've already checked that part. We look at the appearance. Is it as per the picture? And then we cut it to see if the distribution of the sauce inside is as per the picture. And also noting that while you look at the picture, you also evaluating the product as it looks. Does it have hazelnut pieces as it says it should on the picture? And while you're tasting your ice cream, the things that you're looking for is on the texture. Is it smooth? It might be gritty, like having rough texture in your tongue, when you're feeling roughness in your tongue, and it has to be smooth when you eat it. It will be cold because it's ice cream, so you look out for those things when you taste the ice cream. Then the final step is to check the combination of the three, the nuts, the chocolate together. So you bite as the consumer would eat it. And then once you finished evaluating, you record your results on the form.
Lo umsebenzi odinga ama-skills kakhulu, so would-be food technologists need to do well in high school, with recommended subjects like maths, life sciences and physical sciences being the ones that will help you get into a tertiary institution of your choice. Manje, tertiary education is very important for a food technologist. After matric, you can study towards a food science degree at the University of Pretoria, the University of Stellenbosch and the University of Free State, amongst others. You can also receive a food technology diploma from the Durban University of Technology or the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, amongst others. Manje, because of the strictness of the laws, food technologists have to be very strict with the people who answer to them and the company that they work for. A strong character is therefore necessary, along with strictness and attention to detail. A food technologist also needs to be hardworking, inquisitive, enthusiastic, open to new ideas and concepts, and have an analytical mind. Now, although many food technologists will work in factories or laboratories, a food technologist's job bears no major dangers. The job does require concentration and research. The hours are also normal, with many people working 9 to 5, unless they are in charge of a quality control process at a factory that operates beyond those times. So the next time you pop open a can of cola, spare a thought for the food technologist who made sure that you were getting the best product.